All right, boys and girls, it is 7:47, and wars are coming to an end by the power that is bestowed upon YSB. We have Lorraine Ranalli. Am I doing that correctly?
Yes, you are.
As an Italian, I should make sure to be doing that correctly. Oh, Lorraine, I can screw up, but Ranalli, I better get right. It's funny. I don't even think I called myself an Italian from South Philly. I called myself an Italian from Philly and then made a reference to South Philly. And people from South Philly called up and yelled at me.
Oh, really?
And then luckily I remembered exactly what I said. And I said, dude, I said I would need a GPS to find South Philly. I never said, because a guy called up and actually said these words. What corner?
Oh, you take it very personally.
I went, what? Yeah. And he goes, what corner? That's how we tell. What corner? I go, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. And he yelled at me, and I said, dude, I just finished saying I need Magellan, who happened to be one of us, by the way, to find South Philly. But you refer to yourself as raised an Italian South Philly, but not in South Philly.
Raised South Philly Italian, which is different than any other kind of Italian in the country.
Right. So I could have gotten away with the statement had I said I was raised South Philly Italian, but I was raised in the burbs.
Right. If your parents were from South Philly.
My parents were from Jessup, man. They dug coal to heat the stove to cook the pasta. You don't get any more Italian than that. So you've written a book called The Gravy Wars. Why? What compelled you to write a book called Gravy Wars?
First of all, there's always a war around the dinner table who makes the best gravy, and we're very competitive within the family.
Very true.
My brother, who married an Irish girl, God bless her, and I talk about her in the book, Eileen.
You say God bless her, but that's not what you say.
No, I love her.
I don't know, Lorraine.
Well, you know what?
I'd like to God bless Joseph and Rubino and that Mick chick that comes to dinner. I'd like to God bless her, too. What the hell am I going to do?
Every family dinner, my brother will get us all torqued, and he'll say, oh, Eileen makes the best gravy. Well, my mother, my sister, we just get agita because we know that can't be. It just can't be.
Does everybody know that expression?
Yeah, they understand.
Okay. That's a Philly thing. Like, we're the only people on our block in L.A. that knew agita.
There's a lot of Philly things, and I started thinking of all the idiosyncrasies. I wanted to do a project that was my own, and it was Christmas Eve 2005, and I had some serious agita. Everybody's packing in the house. I'm not ready. I do my pseudo 7-fish dinner. It's not quite 7-fish. It's whatever I feel like at the moment.
Good.
Plus a lot of other stuff. Mm-hmm. And everybody's raving about it. I said, what are you kidding me? This is so basic. This is things I do all the time, but everybody loves it. That year I said, you know what? I have to write a book. There's just too many funny things that go on in our home.
Why are some of the traditions so strong in South Philly?
You know, it's funny you say that because I think it's that competitiveness. We all want to claim that we have the original. We know what it's like in the old country. And when I was putting the book together, after I put the book together, I talked to the Philadelphia Tourism Department, hooked me up with their rep in Italy. This guy's name's Massimo. And Massimo,
of course it is.
And he says to me, it's his job to try to promote tourism from Italy to Philadelphia. And he says, Lorena, you have a nicer book here, but it's not written in Italian. I said, well, and he says, another thing. You guys over there in the States, you hold on to this tradition. We've grown. We've moved past you.
Which is so funny because you would think they were the ones that wanted to keep the tradition.
Exactly.
But, I've been to Italy twice for long periods of time. My father lived in Rome for a year, and so I love Italy. And the one thing I've noticed with here and Italians in America is the way you serve food is much different.
Oh, that's what I hear.
And the way it's just the whole process is quite different. But you talked about gravy. Why do you say gravy? Because I know Danny has an issue with it.
I do. It's not that I have a big issue. My brother was married in Italy, and the things I really noticed was the chicks weren't as hot as they were supposed to be, but the guys were really handsome.
Oh, the guys are
I thought that was you're always hearing about the olive-skinned Italian beauty. They don't mention she's about 425. Oh. The guys are like studs,
they
dude.
Are.
And you know what they do that I like, Italian guys? When a hot chick walks by, they have no shame. They applaud. And they sometimes walk her down the street applauding. I worked my whole life for that. Apparently, all I had to do is be born hot and in Italy. And I could have saved all this agita. Now, but the thing I do, by the way, we're talking with Lorraine Ranalli. She wrote a book called Gravy Wars. I think sauce when I think pasta. What's the difference between sauce and gravy?
Well, there's different theories there, again, depending on what neighborhood you grew up in. Now, in Italy...
What corner?
Exactly.
What corner do you serve gravy?
I was speaking to a group 2 years ago, Sons of Italy, and I was talking about who makes the best gravy.
I was sure she was going to say sons of bitches, didn't you? I was talking to this group, these sons of bitches. They're giving me this hassle about gravy.
We would say someone a bitch. But,
yeah, you would.
And a woman from, who grew up in Italy stood up. It's not gravy, it's sugo. You guys have it all wrong. It's ragu. And never say that word in my house. But,
right, but that's because we misunderstand the term ragu. Ragu is a inexpensive sauce, which, by the way, ain't bad, to tell you the truth.
To get you through the day, yeah.
I swear to God, it's like, it depends on what kind of friends you have. I told you I'm friends with George Maloof. He owns the Sacramento Kings and the Palms Casino.
Right.
Well, his sister owns a house and is good friends with my ex-wife. And they have a $40,000 Persian carpet. I have a $40 Persian carpet. Not one of my friends could ever tell the difference. So if I opened a bottle of ragu for my friends, my family, but my friends, they would never know the difference and think I spent all day over a hot
Oh, really?
stove. Yeah.
Right.
Nobody but real Italians can tell the difference, really.
And what you put on roast beef is brown gravy. That's the distinction.
So brown gravy versus just the word gravy.
Gravy, exactly.
Okay.
Now, you'll find some non-Italians in South Philly distinguished by saying red gravy and brown gravy. And then you know right away they're not Italian.
What kind of pasta is better with brown gravy than red sauce?
There's no pasta that you'd put in brown gravy.
Oh, okay. Well, that's where I'm missing the point.
Well, you're thinking
then.
brown gravy for like mashed potatoes. That's what she's distinguishing between.
What kind of pasta do you serve with mashed? What are you trying to starch your clothes from the inside?
That's what she's saying. Is you would never do that.
You would never do that.
All right. So where does brown gravy come in at all? I'm not.
It comes in with your Monday night meatloaf. It doesn't come into play with the Italian dish.
Yeah, as far as Italians are concerned, gravy
is just red sauce.
What you call sauce, we call gravy.
Right.
Correct.
You might call it red gravy.
No! Somebody in this room's high. Odds are it's me, but I'm going to stick this out anyway. I thought you were saying there were certain pastas that were better with a gravy because of the gravy wars. Otherwise...
No. The gravy war is, do you call it gravy or sauce? That's another
the
war within the war. The
Okay.
war is who makes the best. It's do you call it gravy or sauce?
All right, so I'm glad I'm cleared up on the gravy wars, that they are not in competition with one another.
We're not competing against brown and red. Gravy is red. Some people argue that that's called sauce.
We
got
get
Mike
it, Lorraine.
from South Philly, which means we've got an expert on the line.
There you go.
Mike,
Yeah,
before you tell me anything, tell me this. What corner?
21st and Jackson.
Okay, now that's a South Philly knows the answer to that question because I don't know, wherever the bus stops. All right, so you're a South Philly Italian, Mike. Tell me, you want to clarify sauce and gravy? Please do, because I'm still a tad confused.
You got three things. You got sauce, you got gravy, and you got marinara. When your mom cooks your gravy, what she does is she sears the meatballs or the sausage or whatever meat she's making in a pan. She doesn't cook it completely. She puts it in the marinara on the stove, finishes cooking it, and all the juice from that meat gets into your marinara, which makes it a gravy because it's meat sauce, if you want to be Megan.
Wow.
Thank you, Mike.
I give you Mike from whatever his corner was. I think we should have it bronzed immediately. That was awesome. And how is the book doing for you?
Doing well, believe it or not. It's only been out since the 1st of February. We've done a lot of marketing on Facebook. We have the whole war going on Facebook. We have a Gravy Wars group, and everybody posts their comments. Now it's sauce. If you're real Italian, it's gravy, and they go back and forth.
You know what we should do, you guys? Because this is also, aside from being a very clever and interesting book, it's also a cookbook. There are many recipes.
Oh, there's
nice.
65, 70 recipes.
Now,
we should draw straws for which one of us has to make one of these.
I'll
and
make
invite
it.
the other ones
Yeah.
over for dinner.
We should.
Did you say you'll make it?
Yeah, I cook
There goes
Italian
the
food all the time.
Yeah.
There goes the draw. All right. We'll have a
Here's
dinner
what
at
happens when I
Shiloh's within the
offer.
week. Lorraine Ranalli has a book out called Gravy Wars, South Philly Foods, Feuds, and Attitudes. You can get it at bookstores, Amazon, all the
Yep,
ways.
Amazon bookstores, gravywars.com. There's sponsors within that are all carrying the book as well.
Oh, yeah. Who's the thing that you
Thank
brought
you.
the...
We brought the antipasto from Toledo.
Yes, which is excellent. I'm scarfing down these
It was great.
spinach raviolis
Yeah.
and mozzarella balls and...
Toledo's on 9th Street.
Yes.
They're in Norristown and
Yeah.
Sewell, New Jersey.
Lorraine, thank you very much. The book, once again, is Gravy Wars. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Take care. This is 94 WYSP, the rock you grew up.